She never expected it, a mysterious package sitting at her doorstep. No sender, no explanation, just her name. But what was inside? She could never have imagined. Because what happened next wasn't just surprising, it was life-changing. Rebecca had always believed in hard work. She followed the path everyone told her was right: study, graduate, build a future. But life had other plans. The moment she stepped into adulthood, she felt like she had been thrown into a storm, with no way out. The bills stacked up faster than she could pay them. Rent, groceries, utilities, and the crushing weight of student loans, it felt impossible. She worked long shifts, barely slept, and every day was the same cycle of exhaustion. No matter how hard she pushed, she was barely staying afloat. She never complained, never asked for help. She smiled, pretended everything was fine, and convinced herself that she could handle it. But the truth was, she was drowning. And no one knew. But through all of it, one thing kept her going: Taylor Swift. It wasn't just music. It was survival. And on the hardest days, when she wanted to give up, Taylor's voice reminded her to keep going. But more than anything, she had a secret dream. She knew it was ridiculous. She knew it would never happen. But a part of her, deep down, wished that maybe, just maybe, Taylor would notice her. She never said it out loud. She never told anyone. Because things like that didn't happen to people like her. Or so she thought. Rebecca had always been a dedicated Swiftie. Like millions of fans, she posted about Taylor, shared lyrics, and connected with other fans online. But one night, something made her break. Maybe it was the exhaustion, or maybe it was the weight of everything she had been holding in. But that night, instead of sharing a lyric or a happy memory, she wrote something raw. She poured her heart into a post, talking about how Taylor's music had helped her through her struggles, the endless cycle of working just to survive, the stress of student loans, the feeling of being stuck with no way out. She wasn't looking for sympathy. She wasn't expecting anyone to notice. She just needed to get it off her chest. And then, she forgot about it. But someone else hadn't. She went back to her routine. Another long shift, another exhausting day. Another silent battle to keep moving forward. Until one day, a package arrived. She wasn't expecting anything. She hadn't ordered anything. But there it was, sitting at her front door. No return address, no company logo, just a carefully wrapped box, addressed to her. Her heart started to race as she picked it up. Something about it felt different. She carried it inside, set it on the table, and slowly peeled back the tape. Her hands trembled as she lifted the lid. And when she saw what was inside, her breath caught in her throat. At the very top, resting on a folded piece of paper, was a simple handwritten note. From Taylor Swift. Her mind froze, her vision blurred with tears. Because inside that package was something that would change her life forever. Rebecca's hands trembled as she reached for the note. Her breath caught in her throat. This couldn't be real. With shaking fingers, she unfolded the paper beneath it. The moment her eyes scanned the words, she felt her world tilt beneath her. Rebecca, I saw your story. I want you to know, you are never alone. Keep going. You are loved, you are seen, and you are stronger than you think. This is just a little something to help you on your journey. With love, Taylor Swift. Tears blurred her vision. Her heartbeat pounded in her ears. Taylor Swift had read her post. Taylor Swift knew her name. And she didn't just see her, she cared. Her fingers moved numbly, pushing aside the tissue paper in the box. The first thing she saw was a sweater, one of Taylor's own merch hoodies, soft and warm, with the 1989 logo stitched on the sleeve. Then came the Polaroids. Candid moments from Taylor's life, just like the ones she included in her album releases. But these weren't just random photos. On the back of each one, Taylor had written a note, personal, encouraging words, meant just for her. Rebecca clutched the photos to her chest, already overwhelmed, already sobbing. But then, she saw the envelope. It was small, plain, tucked beneath everything else. And it had one simple word, written on the front in bold letters. For you, Rebecca. Her breath hitched. Slowly, carefully, she peeled it open. Inside was a check. A real, actual check. Her eyes widened. She could barely comprehend what she was seeing. $1,989. Her hands flew to her mouth as she gasped. The number wasn't random. Taylor's birth year and the name of the album that had changed Rebecca's life. Taylor Swift had just gifted her money to help pay off her student loans, and to lift the burden she had been silently carrying for so long. To remind her that even in the darkest moments, someone was listening. The burden she'd been silently carrying for years suddenly felt lighter. Taylor's gesture wasn't just money, it was proof that someone cared deeply, someone listened closely, and someone saw her as worthy. In that moment, Rebecca didn't just receive a gift, she found hope. And for everyone watching this, remember, you're never as alone as you feel. Someone out there sees you. And maybe your miracle is just around the corner too. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment about a moment when kindness changed your life. And remember to subscribe, because we all deserve a reminder that kindness still exists.